ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 694th episode of the Geekverse podcast. I am the We've Been Here Before Trust now, and I'm joined by...
I am That Got Me, Taylor Field.
You talking about the Passenger trailer again? Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, not me personally, though. Well, I'll share that story when we get into this.
All right. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. If you haven't guessed it, you might not by the names, but you clicked on it, you saw the title. We are here to talk about Scream 7. Yes, the seventh edition of this franchise. Obviously goes all the way back to 1996. Which I would love to, we've never done a full-on retro, but I have reviewed Scream 5, and then me and Taylor reviewed Scream 6 together. So there are some backlog reviews that I guess I probably should have re-released, but that's why if you join Patreon, you got the entire backlog there. But yeah, we are here to talk about this movie. As usual, we're going to give our non-spoilers, which I feel like is some movies, I know people are getting right into it. Other movies, I know people do listen to spoilers free because whether they're on the fence, they're going to see it down the line. I know lots of people, including our Discord, which again you can join, that are seeing it in a way where they don't got to give any money to Paramount. And that's completely fine, right? Because obviously, Taya, this movie's been quite a bumpy road because obviously we had the original trilogy ended there. They did a fourth one. So, so be it. And then in the age of Halloween and Force Awakens, and I'm sure I'm missing a few others, but the Legacy sequel happened, right, Taylor? And okay, well, let's do that. In the same sense that they called Scream 5, just Scream, which I absolutely hate, which we'll talk about maybe in a Weekly Geek bonus episode. You can see in the feed, I love that Scary Movie. 6 is just calling itself Scary Movie. They're like parroting that they do that. But I hate movies that do that. But obviously, that was the biggest opening that brought the franchise in a big bad way back. And then off the success of that, they went into 6. And that was, okay, sure, we brought some people back. But then we're starting a new cast, right? It's very much Force Awakens where it was the core 4. That's what they called them, right? Mm-hmm. And then we get to 6 where Neve Campbell didn't come back. And that was, which we'll talk about in this movie, that was for some fans obviously a point of contention because lots of people, including myself, somebody that has a daughter named Sydney, considers her like, that's my favorite Scream queen, right? And lots of people have her there. How can you do a Scream without her? Lots of talk about she wasn't getting lowballed, and everyone's like, oh, that's kind of shitty because like she's the face of the franchise. How you can do that? She goes away. So that's his own controversy. And then you got Melissa Barrera, who I can't remember I can't even fucking remember that character's name in those 5 and 6. But anyway, she was the lead. And then in between this and now, we're not getting the full political thing, but obviously lots of things happening with Gaza and Palestine. So on social media, she expressed her, hashtag Free Palestine, which I support. We've done streams for that. It's not a big issue. It's people that are innocent getting hurt. I think that's what people should focus on. It's not the war. It's people that are innocent that have nothing to do with it, they get hurt. I think that was the idea. And I think that's why the other side where, okay, Neve didn't come back. People are pissed. People are pissed at that where it's like, okay, she's just expressing that, I don't want people to get hurt in this thing. And they can her, right? And then Jenna Ortega leaves, the directors leave, it's this whole, and then actually 2 directors leave. I guess one were on their way out, but still they had another director, so it's a complete mess. So they go, okay, we're gonna bring Neve back, bring Courtney Cox back. Here we are. We got they didn't get Patrick Dempsey back. We're gonna time jump a little bit, or are they? We're gonna talk about that with the daughter. And here we are, Scream 7. So Taylor Field, in a non-spoiler slot, what did you feel about Scream 7?
I actually really enjoyed it. It wasn't like the greatest movie of all time because there's certain decisions the characters make that really pull you out of it. That's not like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And if the scene is slow enough that I can kind of catch up with my own mind and think like what I would do in this scenario, then I think, okay, you're losing me a little bit. And of course, like a movie like this, you're gonna lose the audience at some times, but the general reception, I'd say, was pretty positive because a lot of people were having a good time in our theater. They were really like popping.
I don't trust some of those people.
One guy with how vocal he was laughing his ass off.
I'm happy he's having a good time, but if I'm not trusting him on his movie takes, on the conversations behind. Luckily, not like talking too much. Was like, I wouldn't trust this guy, So
yeah, but no, I think. I need to do a proper rewatch of these movies because the only Screams I've seen in theaters would have been Scream 6 before this one, and then Scream 4 when I worked at the movie theater. I remember seeing that one in the theaters. But as for this, I think it's something that I would definitely rewatch because it caught me off guard a little bit. But there was certain moments that I was able to predict certain things. Well, no, I'm not going to say predict. I'm not that cocky. There were certain things that were a little bit like tells, certain things with the killer that kind of made me think like, oh, da, 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 which I'll highlight in the spoiler section because it's I think they're trying to hide certain things, but then
Mm.
yeah, it kind of was exposed. But then there's other things that are just like scenes that are rushed way too fast, and it's just like the setup is horrible. Like they're gaslighting, and it's just all these different things. Like what the fuck is going on? Yeah, but I'm excited to kind of break it down a little bit. I just again to shout outs when we got the previews at the beginning of the movie. Yes, there's that Passengers movie trailer that got me the
Just
a while
Passenger,
back.
not
Passenger.
Passengers with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris
That's right.
Pratt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
Trailer's not
Passenger.
online. You'd have to YouTube it. It's still just trailer or theater exclusive right now,
Oh,
Taylor.
really?
Yeah, we
Oh, I
the
didn't
after
know.
nine after we saw that trailer, you missed, and we had to look for it. And it's just on or it's just in theatrical right now, but people can't find
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, that trailer's on, and I knew it was coming, the scare, so I was prepped for it. But the guy behind us dropped his phone, and he was vocal. He's like, "Oh, that got me!" It just fucking killed me.
it did. I don't get how this gets anybody. This trailer's so obvious. I'm excited to see this movie. I feel like we almost have to review it. I don't know. I'm not promising that because we get busy, but it just feels like it's become a meme now. So yeah, search up Passenger. It's a horror movie. The director actually has some credibility. So overall, you liked it.
I liked it. Yes, I would recommend it. And I feel like I'd even say and recommend it for theaters because there's a lot of moments where Ghostface is walking and the camera just you get that bass kicking in, you hear his footsteps, and the camera just kind of does that ominous like downwards like facing up view showing like him as the villain, and he just feels so menacing and powerful. And
Mm.
I think that like for a theatrical experience, they do a good job with that. That was one of the things I liked with Scream Six too, was getting the different sequences with Ghostface in these different scenarios, and then like you don't see Ghostface brandishing other weapons, but in Scream Six, obviously, when he's in
The
the
shotgun,
convenience store, the shotgun, it's like
very controversial.
this is Call of Duty skin, right? Like it's like what we got going on here. So, um, but yeah, just in here, I think they do a really good job at just emphasizing how ominous this villain is. And yeah, I really enjoyed it every time Ghostface was on the screen. They did these
Hmm.
things, and this isn't a spoiler, and this is where I think it really looks good on the big screen, is the characters doing something, and they did it twice that I counted, where it's just all black behind them, but then you see the shape of Ghostface mask just slightly there, and then it
Hmm.
disappears, and it's super subtle, but I really liked it.
I feel like that. This are minor spoilers. There's multiple times where the girls are walking to school. There's at one point they look outside the window and there's like leaves. I do feel like they're invoking a lot of Halloween in this one, which is
Hmm.
kind of odd for another franchise to be doing that. So, but yeah, it was effective. It was good there. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So for myself, I've talked about this before. I think Scream 1 is definitely, if you talk about the top 10 horror movies, Scream has its place. That very first one. I know people have all their favorites, but that very first one to me is something very special and really kind of revolutionized horror in the 90s. And people are trying to chase that dragon a lot, right? And the franchise, I think everyone has their favorites and whatnot, but I kind of go like the original three, the Legacy sequel, and then I'm not a big fan of 4, and then the last one. And that's where my thing was. I talked about this on Trust Told You in the Discord. My expectations for this movie was to be the second worst Scream. And I guess luckily I can say I think that is true. It's not the worst Scream, I guess, for me. And I think everybody's going to feel different about it. Um, I think for me, the last Scream just got to such a believable, unbelievable amount. Nothing about the Nev thing. I was completely fine with them moving on. I've said this before, like the Sidney Campbell character, I wish would have a happy ending. So I was fine with, okay, here's the new legacy of people go, and people like those characters and they were making money. So I was fine with that. It was just more how unbelievable it got. It got very convoluted and it got to the final killer reveal was not good. The performances weren't good. So there's just multitude of things that happened there. This has similar of those issues where there is some there is a convolution with the killer in multiple facets, and I feel like there's maybe one good red herring, but the red herrings are either very obvious or very just kind of cheesy, or we've kind of been here before. And I think that's where I am with this because I feel that I'll give them credit. I think there's about, and we'll get into spoilers. I think there's about two things that are big plot points that they do a little bit differently that were very fun kind of twists. Right when you think you're going straight, okay, it goes. But then the rest of the movie, excuse me, kind of falls your similar Ghostface Scream pattern. So I, I just don't know where I am with the franchise now. Like I was interested to see this because obviously there was all these announcements of people coming back, and I was interested to see what they're gonna do with the booting some of the old cast and Sydney being back. But I just I feel that I don't know if Scream, because what is this, Scream 7? So I don't know if Scream 8 comes out, if I'll need to see that in theaters. If it's a thing, like right now, I do the podcast, we do this. I much Resident Evil Requiem is on the PlayStation behind me too. It's just waiting to be booted up now, right? If this movie was great, I wouldn't be thinking about that, or I'd be like, oh, that next Scream, I can't wait. I think now, if Scream 8 were to come out and it is something more I want to do, I'd go, you know what? Unless this review does very well, because that's why sometimes we do things, because this is still our small business, right? But I'm not like anticipating it now. I don't know what else there is to do, and I feel like even I'll just say some plot lines were a big stretch. There was lots of cheese in here. There was lots of moments that, I hate to say it, much like the last one, felt like they should be more in a scary movie, like the parody movie, than versus Scream. And I don't think that's good. I don't think once you start again that thing where the thing that used to make fun of you, you do those things still. It shows you haven't evolved. And plus, it's still Kevin Williamson who wrote those original ones, but there is no evolution. Where I feel like with Scream 5, there was an evolution. Where I feel like Scream 6, there was almost a de-evolution. So I feel like I just don't know what more there is to do with this franchise. And I think there is more to do it. I just don't think they want to go that route. I think they, other than a few twists and turns, they like to stay in their little bubble. And I do think it's tough because it's the guy that wrote the originals and now he's directing, but I feel like at times, we've talked about this all the time, especially I feel like in the last 10 years, we talk about this Star Wars of fan service, right? I feel like there's some good fan service stuff in here, but then I feel like I won't say it. I don't know if Taylor ended up watching, but there was a fan film that we were talking about, or at least I watched, and I just remember I said to Taylor, if I ever did this, I would not want to just be so overtly just doing the same things over and over. And it's not just like similar plot beats, it's just like they have identical music cues to, like, there's 3 moments where it's the exact same scene as Scream 1, and it's the same song. It's not even like a cover of it. It's the exact same song. They do that 3 times. I'm kind of fine if you do it once, but find a new way to work those things in. Yeah, that's where I'd say like this leaned more into the fan service stuff. This lent more into, oh man, I've seen a bad fan film with this. But I think, acting's good enough. I don't think we got enough time with the new characters, but that's the tough thing now, right? Because it's like they did that with Scream 5. Like, here's your new characters, but now it's like, well, actually, here's Sydney with some new characters. So you don't get enough time with the new characters. I like the person. I'd have to look up her name. I like the person that plays her daughter enough. That's good. I think she did a good job.
Jennifer Lawrence reincarnate. My God, she looks like J-Law.
Okay, I disagree. I think I don't think she looks like J-Law. Like, I think
She looks
there's
like J-Law from Passengers.
yeah, she has some some similarities, but I didn't get that from. But I enjoyed her. I think she was a good like co-lead. But I think with her and I think almost with everybody, all the story beats really suffer here, and it's very surface level. So I think I definitely would. I don't think I'm gonna fail this. I don't know where my phone is. I'd have to look at I think I failed the last Scream movie, but this is not like much higher than that. I still think it's a pass because I think the last Scream movie for me got just completely ridiculous. Or really, is that what I gave it?
Would you give it?
I think it says like a 3.5 out of 5.
Oh, you love that movie. Oh, yeah.
That's way higher than I remember giving that. Holy fuck. So I'm going to redact and at least, I don't know. So take out the Scream 6 score. I need to think about, I guess I need to watch Scream 6. I need to think about that. So I would pass this, but it's not like a strong pass, and I don't know if I have same like that thing. Scream 6 I've never watched again. Scream 5 I've watched multiple times. I enjoy that. Scream 6 I haven't watched. I don't think I'll need to. And same with Scream 7. I don't see myself other than maybe doing a binge one day, or if the kids really want to watch it when they're older, sure. But I'm not out of my way like, I can't wait to see Scream 7. It's like, okay, I got my fill. I got this. That's done. So anything else, Taylor? Non-spoilers?
Ooh, no, I think that's it for me.
Yeah, and I guess I didn't say like I got nothing else. I would just say if you like these movies and you want to see in the theater, I think like Taylor said, yeah, there's some good score and sound moments. You go see it with people. I think you can still have a fun time with it. But then I also think for anybody that is on that camp where they don't want to support this, whether it's for the Barrero thing or all the other politics stuff, I don't think it's a thing where it's like, man, you're really missing out. You know, it's like I think it's like you'll be okay. You like it's not like a must see Scream movie in my opinion. And I don't know if there's ever going to be a must see Scream movie. I won't say ever, but I just don't know what this crew if there's going to be. I think that I feel like this should be the end of the road, but I don't think it will because I think this will make money and then they'll go make Screen 8 and yeah, we will see. So we're going to take an ad break and then we'll be right back with spoilers. So if you've not seen the movie and you care about spoilers, now is your time to bounce out. We'll be right back. And we are back. Like I mentioned earlier, if you want to get the Scream 6 and 7 review or 6 and 5 review, which are no longer in the feeds, Patreon has every single thing. I think every single thing we've ever done. It's on there ad free. And depending on the tier you get, you could get up to over 50 episodes, Taylor. Over 50 episodes exclusive this year. We got exclusive review series. We got flashback episodes where we listen to our old episodes and talk about that. We got bread and butters like that are just topic focused. Kirkland and Taylor talked about the food from movies we want to eat the most. Me and Dylan gave you some behind the scenes on his video game and Adrenochrome and also the other movies and games and projects we're working on. Just some fun, just kind of like tell the process of creation. So that was a good time. And yeah, there's just tons of stuff on there. You get to vote on Golden Geeks, which is happening. We have a call-in show. Yeah, it's a loaded Patreon. I think we got one of the best Patrons out there. So yeah, go check that out. We will address this first comment because I think this is a good place to go first. Alex Rad. I'll just gonna call you Alex for short because I think I fucked your name up before. But so it says Stu is dead. No more conspiracy theories by Scream fans. Oh, I'm sure it'll still be out there, right? Because that's been a popular thing. So I think I should have said this in non-spoilers, but I want to walk a fine line. And I think that's the thing that is a little maybe underwhelming with the killer and the reveals and everything because all right, so we had heard about Stu going to be back and Matthew Lillard's here. It's kind of like what we heard as far as rumors that they were bringing all these killers back as AI, but Matthew Lillard is the main one. He gets multiple scenes. I think it's just, it's tough, right? I'll say that in the sense what I was getting at is they wanted to bake their cake and eat it too. It feels like they wanted to do a movie where Stu was back and was the killer, but they're like, well, we can't retcon that. And they even say that, right? The killers, when they get their review, like, oh, you can't retcon that, be stupid. That's too obvious, or that would hurt the franchise. It's like, okay, but it just feels like that's carrying you until the reveal of who the killers are. And it's tough because it's kind of like what everyone says. There's some movies and TV shows have found a way, right? But it's like texting scenes can never be that, are usually not that exciting, right? So multiple times, you know, the kill happens at first, and then they call Sydney. It starts as Ghostface, Roger Jackson. Then it goes into Stu's voice and say, "Oh, Stu Macher's dead," and he shows up on the screen. And granted, I like that it was like he had burns on his face. He looked older, so that made sense, right? The problem is it's just Matthew like it's still cool, and I don't get me wrong, I think it's a fun way to bring these people back. It's a good way to get some cameos. It's not ghosts or whatever, sure. And in this day of technology, that does work in my opinion, but the scenes just feel so, and I think Matthew Lillard is working his ass off. I think he's trying his best to invoke Stu. The problem is it's like somehow Roger Jackson, when he's on the phone with the voice, feels more alive than when it's just Matthew Lillard on a screen. And that's all it is. It's like if you're FaceTiming with someone and all his scenes are just he's FaceTiming someone or he's on the screen like fucking Joker at Arkham Asylum. He does his best. It's hard to engage with the scenes because there's no payoff. Like Stu is dead. Matthew Lillard's not going to show up, right? So it's like that's what you kind of want. So they kind of just, that's like I said, they it's kind of a cheat where okay, Ghostface is really going to be like, it's not really, it's Stu. Ghostface is Stu, the spirit of Stu. But when we get down to the end of it, it's like, it's not actually going to be Stu because we don't want to go that far. And don't get me wrong, I don't think they should have gone that far, right? So Justin Y says, this movie was disrespectful to the fans with Stu BS. They paid the price, 40% Rotten Tomatoes, 4 out of 10 movie. Wes Craven would be disappointed. I can't speak for Wes. I don't know the man, so I don't know what he would have thought. I guess like what want to ask Justin and you can put this up in the chat and anybody else. Why would you be disappointed with Stu? Was it just that he's not alive? I guess I just never thought that was a fact. I thought like what they did with him was fine. I think it's fun to see Matthew Lillard having a comeback, and they got to do that with Skeet Ulrich a couple times. I'm not saying like 4 out of 10. I don't think my score is that far from it. I still would pass this movie, but I'm not like defending it in that sort of sense. And maybe I'd fail eventually if I did a rewatch because there is some pretty there's some pretty bad moments in this movie. But yeah, so like we speculated, they used Stu for AI. I thought they were going to use the other killers a bit more, but they are just in the climactic battle where Sydney's in the house. Of course, her daughter gets kidnapped, right? Sydney's in the house, she's walking around, and that's when we're getting the Arkham Asylum Joker things where they're popping on the screen, and they got Scott Foley back and him, and I'm forgetting her name. She was the killer in Scream 2. God, she's Billy Loomis's mother. I'm forgetting the actress's mother. Or the actress's name, but she's a great character actress. So I thought we were going to get more of them, but they're really just in the one scene there at the end, which is okay. And then for the actual killers, we'll go to Taylor in a second because he had to step away. For the actual killers, it's not convoluted that I can't follow it. It's just kind of all right. And don't get me wrong, hang on, I'll check back in here with Justin. He's got a a Stu avatar, so I'm giving him some moment here, or them some moment. Well, Scream 3 was supposed to have Stu alive. He wanted it to happen. He made a script, but the Colombian shooting happened, and the script was so dark they had to cut it. And he said in the future he wanted it to happen. Yeah, but things have changed, though, right? Like, I think that's unfortunate that there's real life things, right, Justin? That happens all the time in other scripts and other movies. I think now it is kind of like what the movie said. If he was alive somewhere, just like missing, and they didn't see him, and so his body wasn't burned, it would feel kind of like it'd feel a little cheesy. The fact that he'd be gone for this long, I think it's fun that they played into it. I think that's just unfortunate timing where that stuff happened with Scream 3, and it is what it is, right? You can't go back and change the past now. I don't know how I would have felt about that because I don't even love the fuck, I'm forgetting his name too. It's getting late. I'm tired. What the hell is his name? Roman. I don't love the brother reveal either in Scream 3. When you start lineage and I've been here the whole time, it gets a little dicey. I don't also like the whole like, well, I really got Billy and Stu to do it. It's like, yeah, all right, I guess. So maybe that could have been a better version, right? And I think, don't get me wrong, it would have been better to have Matthew Lillard back, but yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I think this is the best you can get. I think at least just be, even if you're not happy with it, be happy with you got to see him kind of have fun, be Ghostface like a little bit like via the screen. But anyways, I will give the movie credit for one thing is I did really enjoy where the killings start. We'll get to the characters, but the killings start, and then they go to Sydney's home, which makes very little sense. These killings start. Tatum, right? Named after Tatum. They go home. They're gonna get out of her. She lost one of her close friends. Okay, we got to pack up. The police come in and they do a whole sweep of the house because with the whole thing, they're gonna just get their go bags, get out of there, right? Sydney's like, hey, I've done this before. We stick around, more people just get hurt. So they're packing up. Which I actually like this. They're packing up and the house is clear. They leave, and then as everyone goes in the rooms to pack, they like zoom up and they show the attic. So it's like, okay, that's fun. It's kind of letting us in on Ghostface is there up in the attic. He's coming, right? So for me, he gets out and then he starts attacking everybody. And then when he attacks Mark, which we'll get into Mark, there's gunshots. The police are still outside. The police are, when this scene ends, they're still out there. There's still multiple cop cars out there. Why aren't they running into the house? And especially to even me, it's like, they don't have to be in their fucking rooms. Like, I get it, right? Like, if Sydney or if Tatum, I'm talking about Taylor, how, because Taylor's back, when the first friend dies and they go to clean the house, they search the house and they're about to leave, how Ghostface attacks them and there's gunshots going on, but none of the cops from outside come in to help at all. It is that stuff where it's like, this is the guy that wrote the original Scream in the I think he wrote all other 3 ones. He wrote the original Scream. This is grade A1. Like, what I was saying is I would understand the police not being in Tatum's bedroom or Sydney's bedroom. They got a change pack. Okay. Why aren't the police just in the fucking living room downstairs? Like, well, wait, we're going to be here. And her husband is the chief of police. So I'd say he's very valuable. So they
wrote that off, right? Because they said, we're going to go canvass the neighborhood and clear it.
No one's gonna stay back. Not one other officer. That's completely bullshit. Now I get it. It like, oh, he would just take him out, right? But like that's the point. It's little stuff of just like, why why can you not just add one cop there or a couple like it just made no. And also the gunshots too, it's like the cops never ran in. We get to the point where they run outside and then all the police are out there. It's like, I guess they're camping in the area, but they wouldn't heard a gun. And it's not one gunshot. There's a point where him and Ghostface are holding the guns like it's loud. So that, and this is where I said, Taylor, as we were leaving the theater, things will forget because we just watched the movie and I'm not taking notes. Multiple things like that happen in this movie where you just go, just one little change of the scene and it wouldn't feel dumb. I'll just answer this one and then I'll go to you, Taylor, on a few things. But would be a perfect mode since he didn't have one in Scream 1. Oh, I get what you're saying. I thought you said something else. Yeah. What did you feel about Stu, the use of Stu and AI Stu? And obviously, we didn't get much of the other kills, but what did you feel about that MacGuffin? Because I was saying, Taylor, while you're gone, that it kind of felt like they wanted Stu to be Ghostface, but they really didn't want to go full Monty and like bring him back to life. So I feel like it was kind of like a cheat where it's like, okay, we really want Matthew Lillard and his performance to carry this, but at the end it's not going to be him. So what did you feel about Stu's usage?
I'm happy with it because as soon as we saw him, I thought, well, I don't like that so early on we just got the reveal here. That's kind of lame.
Oh, I liked that. I didn't mind that. I actually didn't like either, or I liked the first Ghostface killer being like killed in the first act. I liked that too. When it was
And I
Carl.
like that. I like that because it makes me wonder, like, okay, what was the long-term plan here? Like, was it intentional for him to die? Was he just kind of sent there to test it? Because I mean,
think so.
I don't think the
Yeah.
original character I don't think the other two
The final Ghostface killers.
Yeah, I don't think they anticipated Gale Weathers to just appear.
No, but I think they expected him to die because they even say the two twins are like, oh, they're trying to get the old Sidney Prescott back. So I feel like it was a test. Even though it's always funny in these movies, like what happens if Carl just killed them? And the two killers like, fuck, man, we had this whole plan and nothing happened, you know? So
That's true.
yeah. So I think they meant Carl to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think. Sorry, what was the original question?
Just Stu's usage
Just
of the
Stu,
AI
just
of the
Stu,
other
yeah, yeah.
killers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to revisit the original film to kind of remind myself about this character Stu. So forgive me for not being super well versed on Stu, but I found it believable, and I think the use of AI is very clever because we definitely live in an age where, I mean, it's funny because coincidentally on the radio today, I heard they were getting reports from people that there was AI fake like city police officers that were Zoom calling, and it was AI, and they were Zoom calling asking
Yeah.
people for personal information, and it's like, man, this just ties hand in hand with what we just watched for Scream. Like, this
Oh
is
yeah,
hilarious.
it's completely believable now. Like maybe like even 5 years ago, something like this would happen. We'd be like, oh, I don't know. Nowadays, the things that happen, this is completely believable. Even though I will say, and this is where like the red herrings were too much for me. The boyfriend, right? So
Oh, God.
a few things with the boyfriend. One, that's what I hated because you said you haven't watched Scream 1. It's literally the windows open. He comes through and he's saying the same lines that
I
Billy
thought
says.
so. That seemed
Yeah.
familiar.
And they're playing the exact same song. It's a cover of Fear the Reaper. It's literally the exact same song from Scream 1. So it's like, all right, we're literally just that's where this felt like very fan filmy. Even the point too when she walks out and she's like wearing Sid's jacket from college. If you don't know Taylor, that's her attire from Scream 2. Sydney's attire is that jacket.
Oh.
But she walks out and she's like, my jacket. They make this big deal like about this jacket. She's like, I thought I threw that out. And it's just like, it's just like, I guess I get it. She killed some people in that jacket. It happened. But that just felt very much like if I was watching a YouTube fan film, like, let's make a big deal about the leather jacket. And you know what's weird is later on, like 10 minutes later in the movie, she just like leaves in the house and never goes back. Like she leaves on the ladder and never becomes a thing again, this jacket. So it was like super odd of just like, I would rather her just wear the jacket and her just be like, man, you remind me, like you look like me. And like, so that happened. But one, the red herrings is, and every fucking person, like, you've worked with AI, you do AI. So we'll get there, but they're doing just like they did in Scream 5, the twins, or the Meek twins are like, okay, we're going to interview everybody. Susan Killer, it's probably someone you know, like, right? And again, spoilers, I did appreciate it's not someone they knew. I liked that aspect. Well, I guess technically, no, it's a lie. Still, one of them was one person and they know. I will get there. But anyway, so they're interviewing them for some reason. The boyfriend and her leave. And she like sits. I don't even know how this happened. She like sits in the passenger seat, and his Mac is like halfway open, and it's open to like some software that's turning him into Stu. Right now, for people, if you're just listening, you don't care about this movie. To set the scene, he's not guilty at all. The boyfriend's just a red herring, and he's a good guy. Right? Anytime there's a boyfriend, it's gonna be red herring because Billy fucking Loomis. Right? But he's there. The laptop's there. She sees, what is this? What's this? And it's him working on software. Now, the answer to this, and we don't get much answer because he gets killed pretty soon after. But clearly the answer is, he was testing the software to see if it was possible someone could do this, right? If someone could make themselves look like Stu Macher and pull wool over their eyes. The problem is, when she pulls up the footage, he is in the camera like, I'm gonna slit your fucking throat. I'm gonna eat your guts. And he does the booga. There's no reason. If I said, Taylor, can you test the software for me? I just want to see if you can make yourself look like Ted Bundy, right? I'd find it pretty fucking. And he's innocent.
I'm gonna copy his mannerisms.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like, not only is this like, I would understand if this was like, back in the day before I met you, like I was a fan of these movies, me and my friends fucked around, like she found something. This is current day. This is a guy who is like about to become an adult graduate, and he's like, I'm gonna slit your throat, and he's like, no, baby, it's not what you think. And it's like, well, what else? Even if he survived, which is dumb because she punches him, they run, of course he finds her, and then he's like, I'm not the killer. She's like, I know, baby, I know it's not you. He was gone the whole time. I don't know how she knows that's because he's about to get killed, so it's sad. But Taylor, even in real life, if that person wasn't the killer and they survived, I'm not dating that person any fucking more. That person's doing these weird AI videos acting like that. It was I think this movie had a lot of bad red herrings, but that was the worst one, of him acting like Stu Macher on his computer. Like, it's not what you think. It's not what you think.
Yeah, there's no grounds for it. Like when I saw it, like
that?
even I genuinely believe like you're the fucking killer, man. Like, because why would you do that? Like, it's just he was not selling it because he was just brushing it off like it's it's nothing, it's nothing. I was just trying to see if I could do it. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
That's why she's like, why don't someone in there just be like, just make it that it's just a picture of the boyfriend and a picture of Stu, and that's it. And then you can do the whole, okay, I'm testing the software to see, so that help you out to catch this killer, right? Not him like giving lines, like he's literally giving lines that this person gave to her mom that like killed a bunch of her friends. Like, that's fucking weird. That's so fucked up. And that's one thing I'll just say about in general. I know it's funny to her. She never found out that her other friends got killed on screen when this movie ended.
True. Yeah.
Like, I'm sure she found out, but she never reacted to it. We never found that out.
Was Lucas really a friend? I don't know.
Neighbor,
the other
though.
girl was neighbor, yeah, but the other girl was definitely more of a friend. But yeah,
That's fair, but still, not even a scene of her reacting to that. Not even like, and I killed your other friends, and you have her cry. Nothing. And that's one thing I'd say again as a negative. I don't think we spent how many Ghostface killers were there? There was 3, even though I feel like it's more like 2.5 because Carl, I think, was just like a guy from the loony bin that they just pointed and go, so you go kill this person for us, right? Because I guess I'll say, we might get back to friends and I'll ask you if you agree or disagree. I feel like we needed way more time with this friends group. I did not feel connected with them at all, other than Sydney's daughter. I did not feel like we spent enough time with these characters for me to miss them getting killed, where Scream 1, you spent tons of time with them, right?
it's true. So you're saying Carl not really included in the 3. So which Ghostface was in the school then? Was that Carl at the beginning?
No, I don't know. It could be anybody. I think Carl could just be sitting outside, like the porch, waiting for Sydney to come home. Obviously, that is always the fun thing after Scream, is when you watch them all to try and figure out who could be doing what. That could have been any of them, I guess. But I feel like for time wise, well, no, because that Scream was in the attic, right, or that Ghostface. So wouldn't it make more sense for one and the other two to be at the school, and that's when Carl's just hiding in the attic? And I feel like, and he does count, but I just feel like he's more. They established that he's mentally disturbed, so I just feel like they probably just pointed him in that direction. I don't think he was actually like scheming and making the AI videos and stuff. I think he wasn't. Yeah, no. He was just like almost a decoy. So
yeah, that's fair. I was trying to think. Okay, well, which one was in the attic as well at that time? Because it wasn't
Carl,
the neighbor. because the
No,
neighbor was out. So yeah, probably.
she's with her
Well,
kid.
Carl.
It'd have to be
Oh,
Carl or
it had to be
the other
Carl.
guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he's not there too. But yeah, Alex said it felt like it was rushed. Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, did you feel like we got enough time with the friends?
No, and it's funny because when I was driving home on the radio, the guy was like, "Yep, Scream 7's coming out this weekend, and guess what? There's over 17 people list posted on like the movie poster for this movie. That's a lot of storylines." I'm like,
It
"Fuck,
feels like that.
that is a lot of storylines to squeeze in here." Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it feels like that. So and then we'll get to because we talked about the actual killer. So again, where it's super this. It's super convoluted. Not a convoluted way where you don't understand. Just I won't even say convoluted. It's just like long and for me boring. They set up and I got half of this right. I thought I'll get the character's name, but there's the neighbors and there's a mom and son duo. I did think the other killer was so it's Anna Camp. I did think the other killer was the son. I thought it was gonna be her and the son together. I thought it was gonna be a thing where they kind of grew up and she told the story of that. Just because in The Boys or whatever we've seen him play like kind of a psycho, so I thought they were gonna do that. I did think they were doing red herrings too much, but then I thought okay they're doing that on purpose. But what it is and she or the other guy kills her own son and she's just completely fine, no emotion there. Okay, cool. Which is just so funny because like Scream 2 is all about the killer becoming a killer because like someone killed their son, like the mother, the love of a mother, right? And I feel like they could have played more into that her son's dead, but they did. It's just like an off mention, like what about your son? Oh, I didn't like him. He's too much like his dad. Moving on. Is Sam mentioned in this? I don't think by name. They mentioned the events of the sixth film. They also take a lot of shots at that sixth film too. They're like, well, it's not true Ghostface killing if Sydney's not there, and they're like, oh, well, I didn't care about like Ghostface killing because you sat that one out. So if you're a fan of that, I don't think it's like you can't watch this, but they definitely like take their time to kind of like crap on it a little bit. I thought the twins would die, so the Meeks twins, so I thought they would crap on it even more, but they survived. They didn't do much for them. But anyway, so the killer, Anna Camp, so she's a neighbor with her son. Her son's he's one of the red herrings because he's just a Dateline, like true crime fan, right? He does get killed in a very stupid way. Hate his kill. A person they're at a bar, and the Ghostface takes his head and like slams it on this thing that's like, why is this thing so sharp in the pub? Like it's literally like a medieval weapon, but Ghostface puts his head on this bar like beer filler, and then when he puts it down, the beer like shooter, like the whatever, I don't know what it's called. I don't
The
drink.
nozzle.
Yeah, the nozzle goes off and it's shooting blood and beer out of his mouth. I was like, that definitely took some points off for me. Not a fan of that. Not a fan. You're a fan? I see you laughing.
I think it was very creative, but I definitely didn't need it. Yeah, I just feel like it was a little unnecessary because it's just you have all these other kills that just are like quick, gut shots and stuff like that, and like one other kill at the beginning of the movie with the two people in the house where it's like, okay, the boyfriend gets it in the side of the head, and you see his eye turning sideways and whatnot, but then all of a sudden you get a very articulated and over the top kill thrown into all just the stabbings and randomness. It's like, well, that just feels a little out of place.
The kills in this were wild because I'm somebody that I was fine with one movie doing this, maybe four, but I'm on the camp of I don't think the Scream movie's got to be so gory. I think this one went overboard on the gore. I think it's stuff like, to me, the perfect gore level is in Scream 1 when he's stabbing Drew Barrymore, and then from a wide shot you can see her hang from a tree and her intestines out. I think that's the type of gore where it's like, oh, that gets you. There's literally stuff where he stabs one and their guts fly out. The killer gets her face literally shot off. You see her face fall off, and it didn't look good either. You have this one with the beer. The fire
Have they implemented that kind of idea, like shoot him in the head, like in the other
Yes.
previous iterations?
Yeah,
'Cause they've really fucking quadrupled down on this with the shooter in the head.
It's always been big, like, but especially in 3, it really started to be like a reoccurring joke. So it's always the shoot him in the head thing, and that's how it ends. Is the killer, this Jessica Bowden, she gets both Sydney and her daughter Tatum have a gun, and they're just popping off. They shoot her face off. I was not a fan of that. Like I said, I don't get me wrong, I love Saw. I just don't need the kind of very gross kills in this one. There was but then even stuff like the other friend, she just dies by like Ghostface throws her off a bar and she lands on a bottle and it like slices her throat, and it's like, did they not? That's where they're rushing. Like, how do we kill her? Well, she's gonna fall in a bottle. It's like, did they not have much time there? But we'll get to it. So the killer reveal is the neighbor with the son. That, like I said, they kill the son. Okay, so it is three. Where there's this guy Carl. He's from a loony bin. He's just kind of a point in one direction. The real people are the neighbor, the crazy kid who's not really crazy. His mom, played by Anna Camp. Her whole story is fuck, I hate this too. And also her like reason is almost like a shot Scream 6, but it's like she was an abused victim from her husband. She read her book. I can't remember what it is, like Out of Shadows or whatever, that she wrote in Scream 5. So Sydney wrote that book and she felt inspired, but then Sydney like went away, and I guess they're just implying because she was in Scream 6, she was not helping like catch the Ghostface killers. So she just like wanted to ruin Sydney's life. And like, don't get me wrong, like,
No, because Sydney inspired her to kill her husband, right, and break
Yeah.
free from that cycle. And so
But why did she
when
want to kill
when-
Sydney?
well, because Sydney disappeared, and so it's like she's like, oh, where's my inspiration?
So?
Like you're not in the spotlight anymore. Like I needed you, and now so she's gonna create this new traumatized Sydney 2.0 version, so that I don't know, she was just fucked in the head, hence why she was
Yeah.
in loony bin.
And I think that's the tough thing too, where it's just because they're kind of just like she's fucking head, but they're treating her like she's like a big fangirl, right? Because when she's like, you weren't even there in New York. That's the problem where I said we've been this before. That's what we did with Scream like 5. What like even Scream 2 is Mickey is a big fan. Scream 5, the reveal is Jack Quaid and Mikey Madison because they're such fans of Stab films. They met on a forum and then they became sick together, and then they created this idea like let's remake Stab, right? Like let's do it again. So the problem is like it's a different version of an obsessed fan or a sycophant, but it's still that again, right? And it's just that's the thing where it's like that. But Mike asked me like, what would I do? That's why I was always fine with them getting away from Sydney, because like, what else can you do with Sydney Prescott? We've done this before where it is like the sick fan. So it's like, okay, like, and that's the thing where I didn't like the reveal of 7. I thought it was over the top how we got there, and I think the acting wasn't good. But I was like, okay, even then though, no, because it's like the family's going to take out the person that killed their son. Guess what? That's what Scream 2 is. That's Billy Loomis's mother's. It's like that's the thing where I think they're afraid to take big leaps. And then the second killer, I forgot to mention, because you know what didn't matter? He was fucking killed like that, Taylor. No fanfare whatsoever. We meet this guy once. He works at the loony bin. He gives some false breadcrumbs about Stu being alive. Like, yeah, there's some guy that got hit in his head, and he looked blah blah blah. He looked like this guy. That's him. That's John Doe. All this shit, right? He's just like, I guess was he just like. I know he was the AI guy, but was he just a fan? Like they met, right? He likes the book too. So Anna Camp goes into the insane asylum. They bond over this book, and they bond that they got to get Sydney. Yeah, I just didn't like. So for me, I understood the motivations of Scream 6, but I thought we'd been there before, and I didn't like the acting. And the acting was fine here. I just thought I did not care about this motivation at all. I thought this was probably the worst one we've got yet for why we're doing it. It's like, well, Sydney decided to go out there. Like, I need that Sydney. It's like, all right, cool.
Well, you know what the motivation is going to be for Scream 8 is going to be someone was watching the interview between Gail Weathers and Sidney Prescott and be like, the interview 30 years in the making, like, oh, you got kids, oh, da 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 da, and because Sydney was like, I don't want to talk about this live on air, it's dangerous, and I bet you that's where they're going to go with it. Some crazed fanatic watched it on TV and was like, I'm going to follow suit.
I don't know. And at least they did. I was very bummed that they didn't bring out Patrick Dempsey. They got another cop named Mark, and at least they made it canon, because in the first or in Scream 5 they showed her with twins, so everyone was saying like, where'd the twins go, and why is her daughter so much older? So I guess they're just saying in Scream 6 or 5 they just didn't mention that she had 3 kids actually. So that's where Tatum was. She was still born, so they didn't retcon the twins away. The twins are just on vacation, and I love, they're just like, oh, what's going on with the kids? Like, oh, well, whatever city they're in, they're like, we got every officer. They got every officer watching that house. And it's just like, so again, why was no officer watching here? But yeah, how did you feel with these 2 killers here?
That was one of the things I was saying about earlier, which when the one killer, okay, you could tell, like, yeah, burly guy, the way he's moving. But then when Sydney's daughter, was in the streets, and you see that one ghost face moving, you could immediately tell it was the physique of a woman.
Well, that doesn't always matter though, because you haven't watched them with Scream 4.
The other ones, like Scream 4 with Emma Roberts, yeah, I think they mask that quite well.
No, they don't.
They don't?
No,
Because I didn't see that coming at all.
Well, no, I'm telling you why. Because the final, like, no, when you're just talking about purely the body size and everything, when the reveal happens that it's Emma Roberts, it's, let's say Scream, Ghostface stabs Sydney, right? And she falls down, and it's like a 6-foot dude. But then when they cut and she takes the mask off, like Ghostface like shrunk, like in between scenes, like it shrinks. It's like when Michael Keaton takes off his mask and returns and his paint's gone. Like that's what happens. So like it doesn't matter who's under that costume because it's just whoever the stunt guy is. So like I'm not saying they didn't make it line up here, but in the past it has happened where it's like the sizes don't mix up at all with who the actual killer is. You know,
that's fair. That's what just threw me off though, because when Ghostface was walking in the town and it was the girl in the suit, I was like, okay, that's who could that be? Yeah, so I was trying to kind of figure that out. And for a second, I thought like, oh, maybe it's Gale Weathers under the costume or something like that.
God.
But yeah, no, I think there was not enough sustenance there. I like the whole basic idea of just a crazed fanatic and a fan just obsessed with Sidney Prescott, and they disappeared from the spotlight, so they couldn't kind of lean on them anymore as inspiration. But yeah, I didn't. I did not see it coming of it being the neighbor, although I can't remember the name of the actress that played
Anna Camp.
Anna Camp, yeah, Pitch
Yeah.
Perfect. I thought when she went wild, I really enjoyed it. I thought that was awesome because she was being super zany and just like just running with that role quite well.
Yeah.
So I did like that, but yeah, she got absolutely fucked up, which was something else.
And even two is so weird of like, okay, so they recreate Scream 1 where they have Tatum tied to the chair and they're going to kill her and they're doing their whole speech. Of course, somehow these people, Mark, survived these stabs, which again, I like Joe McHale. I don't think this role was right for him. I don't think, and that's not just me being salty that they recast Patrick Dempsey pretty much. I just think that he didn't bring in I just never believed him as the police chief. I'm just gotta be honest. I never
as police chief, no, but I thought his chemistry with Neve Campbell was fucking awesome. When they were in that bed together, I was like, Nev. When they were in that bed together, I was like, oh, I'm fucking feeling it right now.
Oh, I think the chemistry was fine. I don't. There was no Patrick Dempsey in her, but I thought it was fine. But yeah, Ghostface stabs him a bunch. He survives, so they pull him out, and of course he has this knife, and he's cutting Tatum's like tape off her leg so they can fight. So I'm just saying there's a dumb point where like, okay, the second guy, the warden guy or whatever, the guy that works at the loony bin, Sidney just gets a gun, shoots him, so he's dead right away, quickly. And then Anna Camp runs into their, I guess, doing some renovations on the garage, so there's plastic everywhere. So she runs in there to like hide or something, I don't know. And then Sidney goes in there and the Ghostface costume is just like hanging on the wall. Why would she take that off? Like, why would you have the time to like, you're running for your life, you get killed, and you're like, and you're gonna hang it there?
Because she had to hide.
So
Did you see where she hid? Did you
You're so
catch that?
silly. I don't remember. No.
So when Sydney goes in there to turn the music off,
Yeah.
and you can see behind her through the through the fucking plastic drapes, the Ghostface killer drops down from the fucking rafters, and I was like, holy fuck, she was up in the
There you go.
ceiling.
She just threw her costume out there.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, so no, I wasn't a big fan of all this stuff, and I also wasn't a fan. We talked about a few things, but like, why Gale didn't follow her? Like, you in the same movie have like, I can't. They established Sidney can't trust anybody, and then at the end, Sidney's like, well, I can trust you, Gale. Why the fuck didn't Gale go help her? She like they knew exactly. Like Sidney's like, tell the police they're going there. Gale just sat at the news station. He's like, well, I hope Sydney's okay. Like it was.
And why didn't Sydney just that whole scene where Sydney gets to the car and it won't open and then runs
fuck?
off? It's like, well, yeah, because
You
Gale
don't
has
have
the
keys.
fucking keys. It's
Yeah,
Gale's
you
car.
know this. Like, why wouldn't you ask for keys? If there's like a 5-minute scene, or not 5 minutes. There's like a 5 to 10 second scene of Sydney trying to open this door that she doesn't have the keys to. It's like, what? And there's a moment. This is where it felt like a scary movie where Tatum is running through the streets. They've established that it's curfew. No one's in these streets, and all these businesses are closed. And she's just like, somebody help me, I'm gonna get killed. Like, she's just doing the like Anna Faris in the middle of the road, like, somebody out, like no one's here. There's no one that, like what's going on? Like what's happening in this moment? And I don't blame the actress at all. I don't, it's not her. It's just the writing of just like, just have her run. There's so many times where too, like she runs a little bit and she hides behind like that wood board. It's just like, they can see you, you know? Like it's like, I don't
And
know.
she's got her cell phone on her person, and it doesn't
No
take a
911.
phone call until she's locked herself in her mom's coffee shop.
Yeah. Or why not call 911?
Exactly.
Hey, I'm the police
Exactly.
chief's daughter. And it's not like the first time, right? If it's the first time, you go, okay, maybe it's a prank, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. Like, I'm, whatever chief's daughter, and I'm going to get fucking killed right now. You know, my friends that just got killed? Yeah. They're going to try and kill me too. And okay, sure. Especially, like, it seems like in this town, they really respect the police chief. So it's not like, I don't know. It's like, okay, get someone over there quick. Like, it's very, very strange. So have you watched 1883, Taylor?
No, not yet.
Okay, she's in this. She plays Elsa Dutton. There you go. The daughter
Wait,
does so.
the
She's in.
daughter does?
Yeah, the daughter, and she's in. She does in one episode of Yellowstone. She does the voice. She's in 1923 as well as Elsa Dutton.
I know the voice in 1923. Yeah, she narrates
How could she be in
it.
1920? Oh, I guess 40. Wait, how could she be in both 1923
No,
and
she
18?
narrates. She narrates it
Okay.
as like the family legacy and
Oh.
stuff like that. But
you go.
I know the actress that was the first victim at the beginning. She is from The Landman. So they're
Oh,
pulling
okay.
all the Paramount actresses into here.
Oh, who would have thunk? Yeah. Yeah, and then that's what I was just gonna say too, where we were talking about the movie being rushed some writing. I just felt like the dynamic between the daughter and the mother, it just felt very surface level and it just didn't feel earned. It also to me just didn't track with Sydney, like Scream 3, and I get she has kids now, but Scream 3 Sydney like leaves the door open where now they do drop one line where it's like, well, I have you now. But it feel like Sydney kind of regressed and they want her. And I guess that's the point of the killer, right? So maybe it's not as a hard critique, but it just felt like every moment it was like, oh, what are you doing today? Well, why do you care, mom? Like, what do you, it's just, I just feel like we needed more time with them as mother and daughter, even if they just didn't get along, but like, it's tough for me to compare because I need the exact dialogue. There's just many dialogue scenes that just weren't working for me and just felt very forced. Of we need them to have a contentious relationship, and so I think acting wise it's fine, but I just thought the drama they're having felt very forced to me. So
Yeah, I mean, there were some moments that I was enjoying, but I can see that where some of the elements were forced. But no, I think that Campbell did a really good job at. I mean, she owns this role. This is her role, so of course she's going to do a good job with it. But I think she delivered on being very emotional and having those moments with the daughter where daughter was kind of prying into the history and Campbell was just kind of like deflecting it and kind of changing the topic. And I think there were some good emotional moments together that I really liked. I'm surprised they didn't try going into that panic room a little sooner, though.
yeah, and then I don't like. I don't know why she let her daughter leave that panic room because it's just like I don't
Well,
think
she had to go
Ghostface is
get
getting
the
through.
husband, right? The dad,
But
Mark.
yeah, but why did she let her daughter convince her to let her follow her? It's like, no, you're staying in here. This is a fucking panic room. The doors are like bank vault steel going on here. You're like, no, you stay in here. So
Yeah.
yeah. Rayo says, just watched the movie. Movie sucked. Kills were good, but the ending sucked balls. I don't know if I can say sucked balls, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of it. It's hard. Like I think it's tough because the screen. I think that some of the hardest things are the opening and the ending. I think the opening went on too long for me. I liked some aspects of it, but I think they took too long with that. I think the ending is tough because I think I did not like last one where Scream 5 to me was a fantastic ending. Like no notes. I think they really delivered there. I think Scream 3, like I said, gets a little convoluted, so I'm mixed on that. Scream 2 is also a little messy, but yeah, no, don't get me wrong though. If you say that, I could say, oh, I see that. I'm not gonna fight you on it. Like, there's definitely some things that sucked some balls there. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, and then they brought the Meeks twins back, who were from the 5 and 6. I still like those actors, and I like them in their role. They got taken
Didn't
out.
like him in this.
And you like them in this? Okay.
No, I felt like they were just way too flamboyant and just. I appreciated their contribution to figuring things out, but I didn't like they were just thrown in there and just being kind of like Is it gonna sound mean, but idiotically wrong with their gauges and stuff like that on the two people they suspected, and just being very like too much about it. And
Well, they did
then
make that joke though, right? About her, like, well, you were wrong the last two times. So I guess
they
that's just their
did, yeah.
gimmick. So
It's
I feel
their
like
gimmick.
if they come back next movie, they got to get it right, you know?
I hope so, but yeah, they
Well,
they got
they were,
just dispatched quick.
yeah, they were still right though when they said it's gonna be someone you know, and they knew the neighbor, right? Like Anna Camp. So like, it's still someone they
Yeah.
knew technically, right? So
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was another. Oh, I was gonna say though, they got taken out very easily. She just got like a slice on the stomach. She was back later on, and then as one of my least favorite things, do you remember in Screen 6 when this guy was stabbed like 15 million times by
Yes.
two ghosts and survived?
Yes.
This
Yes.
movie gets stabbed in the shoulder, he's done. He's done. He's not dead, but he's just done for the movie. It's like, what? Like I don't know. I know you're a working actor. You got to get out there. I still think, in my opinion, these people should have they should have followed Jenna Ortega and be like, you know what, we're not gonna come back either. And they should. I think they could have got some cred, being like, yeah, you fucked over our friend, we're not gonna come back. And you know, but Rayo says it felt rushed as well. I feel like that's I feel like you and I've said that. Other people in the comments. So I feel like that's a general feeling from everybody that it does feel a little rushed. It feels like, and don't get me wrong, I don't think there's a longer version of this movie. I think this is the movie. I'm sure there's some deleted scenes, but I don't think it's like, oh, they cut this. It definitely feels rushed. I feel like you don't get much time to breathe. I don't know. Once Sydney gets the call, they do like a little breathing there, but like from the first kill and then on. But I feel like, again, that's not written the best, so it's not great air you're breathing. But again, yeah, no acting problems. Like other than for me, Joel McHale didn't really bring it, but like I like the daughter. Like Taylor said, I think Nev Campbell does a great job as always. So I had no, and even some of the newer people, like the boyfriends, like they're all fine. Like I don't think anyone stood out as being bad, but yeah, I just laughed at that Meek's brother. Just yeah, 20 fucking knife shots of like run, and this one just nah, she one shoulder knife,
In the
knife to shoulder
too.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
and he's done. No final act, no nothing. He's just gone. So
Mhm.
oh, I'm trying to think. Do you have anything else to shout out?
Well, I don't think you mentioned it yet, but when she goes in the coffee shop, and she's already shot
Oh,
Ghostface,
bruh.
and she's running away from Ghostface, and so she's at the doorway. She throws a chair and knocks Ghostface back. Then that Ghostface stands up, and then she turns to run. But in the outside of the shop is the other Ghostface. And
Other
then
way
that
around though. The
goes-
Ghostface gets up after.
Yes,
when
that's
she
right,
goes.
Ghostface
Yeah.
is out there, and so
Yeah.
you get like a slow mo scene of like the Ghostface in the shop walking towards her, and then the slow mo scene of the Ghostface outside starting to like charge, like fast walk, and I'm like, the way it was filmed, I thought, holy fuck, they're gonna go toe to toe. The Ghostfaces are gonna fight each other because they're rival Ghostfaces, and I was ready for it.
Yeah, I thought I was having to too, because to the movie's credit, I was kind of like, okay, all the characters other than the neighbor, but her close friends, they all got killed off in the sequence, right? Like her friend, the boyfriend, the guy from Gen V. So I'm like, okay, who's it gonna be? And I thought, oh, it's gonna be maybe like some sort of. That's why we got Carl. It's like some sort of cult or something like that. So it's like they want to claim the kill for themselves, right? And I like almost like the God, what movie? Like Ready or Not, like something like that. None of the actual like satanic like people exploding, but just like I thought, oh, it's gonna be a bunch of followers and they're like competing to see who can kill like Sidney Prescott, who could do this, right? But no, it was just that they did that. I thought you were gonna bring up where she gets a coffee shop. Nev, you've seen the trailer. She tells her, hey, there's a gun in the office. She closes the door. She puts like a bookshelf and a desk against the door. Do this whole sequence, which I think is it's fun. She's like, oh, you know, move left, move right. Okay, shoot him now, shoot him now. She shoots him. She shoots Ghostface, and he's down on the ground. And then she proceeds to like open up the doors and remove all the barricades. I know that Cindy said like shoot him in the head. Why? If that was my kid, I'd be like, okay, just if he gets up, shoot him in the head. You know?
Oh, not even if he gets up. You shoot him in the head. You open that door a little bit, and from your little
That's
distance,
true,
you pop
yeah.
him in the head. Like,
That's true. Yeah.
don't like, because she's just going like, oh, I killed him. I did it. I got him. And then Sydney's like, I know you did, but you got to shoot him in
Yeah.
the head. Like,
But even then, I would say just stay in that room. I'm on my way. We're gonna send. And again, they never showed up too. They told the news guy to call the police, and he did. He called the police. So because he's like, what about my interview? So police should be arriving soon. So just stay in that room, and it's gonna be okay. But no, she gets kidnapped, and you know that's where again I feel like they were definitely trying to make Sydney the main character because I could be wrong, but I don't think Sydney Prescott ever got kidnapped. She's been held at gunpoint, knife point, but I don't think she's ever been like tied to a chair and whatnot. So they definitely still established like, hey, like The daughter's still number two. She's not on equal footing, you know. And like that, oh, at the end, man, when they shoot her, and she's like, "You okay?" And she's like, "I'm Sidney Prescott's fucking daughter." It's like, all right, like your dad's like half dying over there. You guys want to go take care of him? Like, hey,
Yeah.
just some of the dialogue wasn't working for me. So
The other character, and again, red herring, the drama teacher who they introduced and had some like comments towards Sidney Prescott's daughter, and then was outside the lines, like the police tape, looking at shit, and it was like the first person Sidney Prescott looked in at and was like sizing him up, and then that's the last we see of him. But
Never
they
came back.
introduced him and they set it up like, okay, maybe there's something with him, but yeah, never came back. It was just like a very loose thread.
I was glad because I actually really enjoy that actor. He's a great comedic actor. So it's like, I don't want him in there. Two very awkward scenes is when he goes up to, she's like in a play and she trips. And then the teacher pulls her aside. He's that teacher. He's like, you know what? Your daughter's Sidney Prescott. I thought you had a little more fight in you. I was like, what? What? That was the fan film stuff where it's like a fan wrote this. Like it's like, oh, you don't have that grit your mother has. It's like what? Like who would honestly say it? Like a teacher that's employed who would say that? And then it's so weird. Like I don't know if you got this vibe too, so maybe I'm wrong, but the teacher said, oh, you don't have confidence. And then she gets in the back with her boyfriend and she's rambling on about like, oh, I like what are some features? Why don't I'm not just not confident because X, Y, and Z. I feel like we didn't see the character much. Maybe it's been like 10 minutes, but I feel like what we saw the character, she was very confident. She was arguing with her mother in a very confident way. So the fact they were trying to get the storyline of this character's not confident, I've not seen that whatsoever. She's not like a quiet, nervous, shy. She's like getting up in her mom's face. She's saying, talking back to the teacher. She's in her friends. She's trying to go to a party later. It's not like, I don't know if I want to go. Like the only reason she doesn't want to go to the party is she doesn't know if her mom won't let her. Make that character be like, I don't know if I really want to go. Like, parties aren't my thing. Like they made her, I won't say like uber confident, but not in a way where she's like, am I confident? I get it. They're young. They question it, but just some questionable stuff happening in that play scene there. So yeah.
I agree.
I think that's all I have. I know someone's gonna probably pop in my mind. I'll forget about it or I'll remember, but like I don't have anything immediate right now. Is there something you want to shout out?
I liked how prepared Sidney Prescott was in this. I really, really enjoyed that. Where, like, she gets the whole police force on it at the school, and then she walks into the auditorium where her daughter would be, and then she just has that gun going and is just firing down. I like that she's got the lock
Yeah,
safety
right
room
away.
in her
Yeah.
house, and I like that she's got the guns located, the cameras, all this stuff. I like how prepped and tactical she is. It reminds me of Laurie Strode Halloween 2018, where she's got her house decked up, ready to trap Michael and all that stuff. So I can really I get on board with that. I thought that was well done. What was the other thing I wanted to shout out to? I can't remember. Probably not important.
Probably not important. Yeah, so my final thoughts are I enjoyed some aspects of this, but as a whole movie, probably yeah, this one's like a tough score. I feel like I'm just gonna I really don't know because I've established like a five is a pass for me. Like even saying six, like I really have to go back because I think now with Scream Six, me seeing it like given a 3.5, I have to think there was maybe some good shots or some kills. Some that feels higher than I thought. And I felt like I had failed that movie, but I guess not. So I will just give this a six for now. I'm gonna have to go back and change the other score, at least put down there. But I'm gonna give this
5 out of 5.
yeah, I'll give this like it would be like a 3 out of 5. Yeah. No, you know what? Because of some repetition, I'm gonna go a 5.5. I'll drop a little. I'm gonna go 5.5. So I'm not failing it. It's right in the middle there. Because I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But I just in this movie alone, not comparing to anything else I'm feeling about it, I still feel good enough to pass it, but not enough to give it like a high mark. So yeah, I'd be like a 5.5. Yeah, that's where I am.
All right. When I think back to the previous film, Scream 6, and I think about how they really just dived into the legacy stuff with all the stuff from the police evidence files and all the Ghostface killer costumes and from all the iterations and just all that information. I really like that. I can't remember what my rating was, but I don't know. This one just feels very safe, back to its roots, and Yeah, like if I really had to think about what I would give it, I'd feel like I'm more positive than most.
Mm.
So I'd probably be inclined to go 7 out of 10, I
7?
think. Yeah, because I think the
Yeah.
rewatchability is there, and I definitely want to watch it again because I had a lot of fun with it. But it's not perfect because yeah, I like you highlighted that one kill on the bar. We didn't need that. That was way too flamboyant and excessive. And there's a couple other things that I just it's weak. It's not for me. But I like the incorporation of AI. I like how
Mm.
intense they made these ghost faces to be, and I think a lot of the action sequences were good, and a lot of just really cool moments like when Carl, that ghost face, that slowly like you see the top of the attic panel of the ceiling opening up, and then he just drops down. And then yeah, just where his mask is like fading away in the shadows behind people as they're moving around. Just some really cool cinematic shots that I can really appreciate. So, as I said earlier, I recommend it. I think it was at least for me a good time and something I will rewatch.
There you go. Well, that is our thoughts on Screen 7. Let us know whether it's in the Discord, YouTube, Patreon, social media, whatever. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if we missed anything, or let us know if there's something you disagree with. We're always down to have some conversation, nice, friendly conversation about it. But yeah, that is our review for Screen 7. When you hear from us next, it will not be